Hello everyone, my name is Barbara Reed, the Wexford Stamper, and I'd like to welcome you to another video tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cute little box, and in this box I have a pair of tea bags and a little biscotti cookie, and this would be a great little gift for at a tea, if you have a tea, or just a little friendship gift, or maybe even a gift for a teacher, because at the end of the day they sure could use something like that. And what I like about this box is that there's no cutting. Once you make it on your envelope scoreboard, it's all just creasing and folding and adhering. There's no cutting going on. And then I like that the flap goes inside and that the box is very, very sturdy and stays together very well even without the belly band. So that's really your choice, but I had to add the belly band because I just love the addition of that extra interest. And the stamp set I used is called, the suite I used is called Tea Room. And let me show you that in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. It's in one of the first in the entire book, and it's on page 14 and 15, and it is a beautiful set. If you like the vintage look and if you're a tea drinker, this is something that you'll really enjoy. There's a beautiful stamp set here, photopolymer, and then there are some framelits that go along with it. And of course, if you buy it as a bundle, you can save 10%. And another one of my favorite things is the beautiful vintage paper that comes with it. And I'll be using some on the project, and there's just so many beautiful choices there. It also has some lovely ribbon and a really cute little copper tea tin that you can buy and decorate for a friend and fill with cards. So it's just a wonderful suite, and one of my most favorite in the new catalog. So let's go ahead and get started on our project. Okay, in order to start the box, I'm going to be using a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock cut at 7.5 by 7.5. Okay, and before I do any kind of cutting and scoring, I like to do a little bit of stamping. I'm somebody who likes to do a little bit of tone-on-tone stamping for a box because it just gives it a little more interest than just being a plain colored box. I just like to add a little extra, and being tone-on-tone, it's just going to be a little bit of detail, and it's not going to, overwhelm the rest of the project. So I'm using one of the small little flower images and using Calypso Coral ink. I'm just stamping randomly around on the paper. And don't worry too much about placement. It's going to be a box, and you're not going to see a lot of them together anyway because it's just a small box. All right, so there's my random stamping done with my Calypso Coral. All right, now I'm ready to do some punching and scoring. And the way I'm going to do that is with my envelope punch board. This is a fabulous product that Stampin' Up! Has in their catalog, and it was originally developed for making envelopes of many different shapes. If you're, not shapes, sizes. If you're somebody that likes to make unconventional size cards, this can help you make an envelope that will fit nearly any size card you want to make. Well, lots of people were making envelopes, but then some demonstrators started to experiment and use it for making boxes, and it became very popular for making boxes, and that's what we're going to make today with our punch board. So let's get started. On the first side, I'm going to measure out on the left-hand side to 2.5, and if you notice up here we have our measurements, and you're going to go out to 2.5, and you're going to punch and you're going to score. Okay, we're going to turn the paper a quarter turn, and we're going to go out to 2 7/8. We're going to punch and we're going to score. We're going to quarter turn again and go back to our original 2.5. Punch and score. Okay, one more quarter turn and back to this 2 7/8. Punch and score. And I'm sorry for the bouncing. All right, so now before we move it from this last punch and score side, you'll notice that there's a score line just behind where we just punched, and it doesn't have like a punch at the end. So what we're going to do is you're going to slide the pointer to that score line, punch it, and then score. We're going to do the same thing, excuse me, on the next side. Here's where you punched, but now you're going to slide down to the other score line, line it up, punch, and score. Okay? Quarter turn again, line up with our score line, punch, and score. Last time, punch, and score. All right, well, there's all our punching and scoring. And the last thing I want to do here is I use the back side of the punch, and you can use that as a corner rounder. And I always love to round the corners on my boxes. It makes them look a little more neat and clean, especially if I'm giving them as a gift. All right, all my all my punching and scoring is completed. I forgot about one thing we need to do. Okay, as I told you before, this is a box that we were not going to do any cutting. So we're going to have to do just a little more scoring before we continue. Okay, and that is on these areas here. Okay, they're cut, they look like little diamonds here. And what we're going to do is we're going to score a line that goes from this corner here and to the halfway point on that line. All right, so let me show you. It's something we eyeball, so it's not something that you can line up at a certain number. But I'm just going to line it up along my scorer so that I can start my score right at the center there, and then it goes right to the point there, right to the corner. Okay, same thing here. Okay, you want to eyeball it and then score. Okay, same thing here. Eyeball from the corner to the middle of the side. Same thing here. Last one, you're going to line it up at the center of the side there, and then starting from the point and go out. Okay, so now I have all those score lines there. All right, now I can finally get this put away. So now what I want to do is take my bone folder and I want to score on all my lines. Okay, not score, I want to fold and crease on all my score lines is what I meant. First I'm going to do the ones that we worked on with the punch board. And then we'll go to the ones that we did at the diagonals that we did. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of take your fingers and score those. And what they do is they make the corners come in so that the two sides come flush together like that. Okay, same thing here. You got to kind of push it together with your fingers, and then you're going to squeeze it to score it and crease it. Okay, same thing here. And then same thing here. This one's a little off, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more finagling with this one. Okay, you want to always make sure it's coming up to the center. Okay, and right down to the point. There we go. All right, I fixed that one a little bit. Now it'll work. All right, good. All right, so there we go. Now we're ready to go ahead and put our box together. Okay, so now we're going to take our tear and tape, and Stampin' Up! Makes this fabulous adhesive that is great for holding together 3D projects. The regular adhesive you'll use, called the snail adhesive, is really not strong enough for boxes if you're going to be putting things in the boxes. So it's important to always have tear and tape on hand when you're making boxes. All right, now I'm going to take some tiny bits of tear and tape, and I'm going to make sure my box is sitting this way so that the long rectangle in the center is lying in landscape position. Okay, then I'm going to look at this first little flap here on my box, and I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape on the back of that and on the inside of that, and I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Okay, I'm going to put it on the back side here and the front side here. All right, and I'll show you why we're doing that in a minute. We're going to be folding and adhering those together to make the bottom of the box, the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and take both sides of the tape off for this side. Okay, there we go, come on. I always have trouble getting these off, especially when I'm trying to rush and I'm doing a video. All right, there we go. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold these together like that, and then I'm going to fold it down against the bottom. Okay, so now if you look inside, that is against the bottom there. Okay, so we were able to put it together with really no cutting. Let's look at it again on this side. Off, the inside flap piece off. Okay, first thing you're going to do is make sure these stick together so that the sides of the box are flush with each other. Then you're going to fold it down so that it sticks to the bottom of the box. Okay, see that down there? They're both stuck to the bottom of the box now. All right, well now you can really see the box coming together nicely. On my box here, I had the outside flap is the one coming up from the bottom. All right, so this is the last set of adhesives you have to do. You're going to take two pieces from your tear and tape, and you're going to put one piece here, tear it, and then you're going to put another piece here. Okay, now let's turn that over, and we can go ahead and tear that off. All right, now we're ready to fold it up. Okay, I like to put my hand inside, and you want to make sure that it's coming up so that this side here is right against the side of the box, and then you can kind of pinch. Same thing over here. Make sure it comes up against there, and then you kind of pinch it. All right, and there it is. There's your box. Okay, and there you notice it closes, and these two little tabs just kind of fold in, and then you can take your, okay, and then that folds and goes right in like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the one I made here. Okay, so the box is open, and then it closes with that. All right, so now here's the one I made now, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a belly band on it. All right, so what you're going to use is, I used a piece of rich raspberry, and then I used a strip of the DSP from the Tea Room Suite. Okay, now when you're making belly bands, it's important that you remember not to adhere these two pieces together before you put it on the box, because then you're going to have trouble bending it and making it fit snugly around the box. So you want to take them separately first. Okay, so you're going to take this piece, okay, and I like to go from the back, because then you're going to have the ends on the front, and then your embellishment is going to cover up any of those pieces. So I'm going to carefully fold up and over, up and over. Okay, now I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to crease those lines just a little better and make sure that they're even. See, I can slide it so that it makes them straight. Okay, and do the same thing over here. You're going to fold that up, and then you're going to fold that up there. Okay, so there's that. One is done. Now we're going to take your strip of paper and put that on top. Okay, now the paper's a little longer. I'm going to have to trim it, but I'm going to go ahead and fold, fold, fold. Okay, and one more fold here. Let's do that again. Fold and fold. Okay, so now the pieces are ready to glue together. It's going to give them enough space that they can move, and they're not going to tear, and they're going to fill in nicely on the belly band. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get my adhesive, and this time I'm going to use my Tombow glue, because this gives it a little chance to settle itself before drying, and I can always move things around a little bit if I have to. All right, so I'm going to put a little glue on the back of this strip, not a lot. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to my box, my strip. Okay, and I've got to keep in mind that these are where they're going to be, it's going to be bending, so I have to make sure that I leave enough space for those. Okay, there we go. That's looking pretty good. Little oops there. Okay, this is a little too long here. Let me cut this off. There we go. All right, so belly band is coming together nicely. So now I'm going to put my box inside, and now I can bring it around here, and I'll know that it's going to fit well and that the belly band is going to stay secure. Now, in order to secure the belly band, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my sticky strip again, and I'm going to put a piece under the top side, although it really doesn't matter which you pick to put the piece on, and I'm going to get that off there. This is just not my day for sticky strip, is it? There we go. Okay, back down. I'm going to put my box here, and I'm going to fold my belly band around and adhere it there. Okay, and then you always want to check and make sure that it slides. Okay, because you have to be able to open it and close it, and you don't want it to be too tight. Okay, now last thing. If you look at my belly band here, we're going to make this adorable little embellishment there to finish it off. And to do that, I cut the largest scallop using the layering circle framelets. And then I cut this very interesting little doily type scallop. And this one comes with the T-Suite framelets, and goes right on top. So I'm going to just take some glue. Oh, now before I do that, I do need to go ahead and do my stamping. Okay, so let me get my rich razzleberry this time. And right on the top center, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. Okay, and then underneath, I'm going to stamp a little bit of curves. Okay, just like that. All right, now I can go ahead and glue it to my scallop. Okay, there you go. Now, last thing I'm going to do before I adhere that scallop to my box is go ahead and stamp my little cup and saucer. And I'm going to do that on Coastal Cabana like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and run that through my Big Shot. And with the magic of television, this is what it comes out to be. All right. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals, and I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of my teacup. And I'm going to get the back off of that. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that to the front. Okay, so there's the scallop that we're going to put on the box. Here's my box. And then I'm going to turn the scallop over, and on the back I'm going to put 2 more dimensionals, just top to bottom. I'm going to take that off there and adhere that to the front of my box, and that will cover the spot on the belly band where they overlap. Okay, so there is your finished box. I'll show you my original here. They look just the same. If you have any questions or comments about the construction of the box, please let me know. You can comment on my blog. All the information shared today will be on my blog as well as the tutorial. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.